Hi everyone, I'm Christian and this is Crypto Ripto. So today for the Bitcoin price, we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart and we're going to look at the urgent signal that Bitcoin's making right now to say that could it be bullish or are we going to see another rejection and it play out exactly as I predicted a couple of days ago on the Wycroft chart and start moving to the downside into phase E. Now we'll have a look at the price, we'll have a look at the action and we'll have a look at the volume coming into the market. And from that, we'll determine what we think Bitcoin's next move is going to be. So if you're interested in seeing that, and that's something that interests you, stay tuned and let's get into the video. So thanks for staying tuned. So now I'm going to make this video quite short and I'm going to jump straight into the chart and we're going to look at quickly how Bitcoin's behaving now, what Bitcoin's price action is, where it's getting rejected, where we're going to see it kind of bounce, and then we're going to jump back quickly to the Wycroft chart that I sort of predicted back a couple of days ago and see how Bitcoin's daily candles are closing at exact points that we sort of planned out and where we can go from here. So let's jump into the chart and see how this is playing out. So obviously, as you can see, Bitcoin's price at the moment, we hit that all-important 40k mark and we sort of had a lot of tests here. We've had a lot of tests here, and then for me, it was just on this kind of, this is the 50-day moving average here, and it was bouncing quite nicely using this as support all the way up, and then we had sort of like a fake out here on the 1 hour candle. And I thought, obviously, Bitcoin, with it testing this resistance this many times, was going to see maybe a break to the upside and break this trend that it's been in, sort of a downtrend that it's looking to. But you know, Bitcoin's really struggling, so it's not time to get euphoric about it yet. I know I'm still bullish on the market, but I do think we're in kind of like a bearish scenario at the moment because Bitcoin's still floating below the 200-day moving average. Now, a lot of people know within crypto that bearish market uses the 200-day moving average as resistance and the bull market uses the 200-day moving average as support. Now, if we've broke down that, like we've always been saying, we're dipping into a mini bear market within the bull market, we still need to see Bitcoin shoot up above, for me, about $42,000 for it to start making momentum. Because if we have a look quickly on the daily here, so if we jump into the Bitcoin daily chart here, we'll see that Bitcoin here is still struggling to break above the 200-day moving average. Now it is smashing it and it is trying to break above it and using that as kind of resistance, and everyone was bullish that we went to 40k and I was bullish, but we didn't manage to maintain that. Since then we've been dropping down and we've come below this 200-day moving average. So this is why I'm saying Bitcoin's urgent signal right now is the decross is coming up, Bitcoin's struggling to break above the 200-day moving average, and the volume is absolutely sank like the Titanic. So with these three indicators, it is putting Bitcoin in pretty much of a sticky situation at the moment. Now, obviously, a lot of people want to look at the good, and so do I. They can say, oh, there's a kind of a W pattern coming here, or there's, you know, there's sort of like, you know, we can put it here, so it's like a rising wedge and stuff like that. But that's just clutching at straws, in my opinion. I think we need to start looking at this realistically and see that Bitcoin is still struggling at the moment, and until we get up into this box area that I've been saying for a few days here, we're going to start struggling. And definitely if this 50-day moving average, the decross, comes up, that's a psychological explanation for a lot of people to sort of dump out of the market. So I still think we have to err a bit of caution. I think Bitcoin's not dead in the water, because obviously, like we're seeing here, it's still trying to break this resistance, and it is looking promising. We've gone through here, we had a close sort of here, and then we dropped, and now we've dropped back down again. So we really need some momentum, which has not happened really since all the way back here last Sunday, where Bitcoin, sorry, all the way back here, this is on the daily, sorry, all the way back here last Sunday, We didn't. So you got the momentum where Bitcoin started going bullish and it went through to like the 40k mark. And you know, I look at fundamentals, I look at the news, I look at the technical analysis. I'm a big fan of looking at the smart money and the volume, and it's just not there at the moment. And also there's a lot of, if you have a look here, there's the fear is back in the market. Yesterday we was looking to get around here, around 38, and we were looking at good to sort of get ourselves out of it. And then obviously today, with Bitcoin closing still below that 200-day moving average, there's a lot of fear back in the market. So this is making Bitcoin struggle a little bit. And you know, Bitcoin is looking a bit kind of bearish. Now, where do we see Bitcoin going from here? Well, I see it consolidating a little bit and going sideways and being a little bit boring because there's just literally no volume. And like last weekend, you know, we could get to Friday where the retail money comes in and we could see Bitcoin kind of lose a bit of momentum, but it will be with low volume until maybe like what happened last time, until it makes that U-turn. But if you have a look at the price action, this is what I posted. I'll just put it right here and emphasize it up a bit. A couple of days ago, when Bitcoin was on the way up. Now, we said if Bitcoin carries on the way up and follows this kind of avenue here, then it will reverse trend, break the trend, and this would have moved Bitcoin above the 200-day moving average. So this would have broke the support line. But if Bitcoin follows this trend here and starts playing out this kind of pattern, we could see a bit of a downside into phase E of the Wycroft pattern. And I hate to say it, that these lines are pretty much, if you have a look here, are pretty much bang on. This one got rejected at this line here, didn't break it, and this one's literally smack bang on the crease of the line. And this is worrying. This is worrying for Bitcoin. And obviously, for those that are new to the channel and those that are just watching it, I'm just going to click back, and you can see here it's the 15th of June, and now we're on the 17th, and you can see I drew the pattern in here. So this is what we predicted. This had just literally come up, and we said it's going to, if it gets rejected here, then we could see a bit of this momentum and then hit the downside. Or if it doesn't and continues on the upside, we'd like to see Bitcoin break out and a trend. And this is a snapshot that I took on the 15th to put on the socials, just for people to be wary, because I drew this Wycroft pattern on the Bitcoin chart, and this is how it's been playing out in my opinion. Again, this is not financial advice to anyone. This is just my opinion how the Bitcoin chart was playing out. And if we have a look into the pattern that Bitcoin provided now, you can see it's been playing off this arrows perfectly. I mean, you couldn't have predicted it any better. Now, I'm not going to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. I presumed it was going to do this kind of pattern because obviously if it was breaking to the downside, it did. For the fact it's this close is a little bit of luck, because this could have been up a little bit or down a little bit. This was not an exact science, but this is what I sort of had an inkling of what was going to be. But yeah, that has actually played out perfectly to the line I was saying. Whether it plays out perfectly to the rest, we don't know, but this could be a momentum to the downside now. You know, Bitcoin could probably just now start dragging its way straight down here, kind of like this momentum here. So it could just continue to the downside now, you know, without any up. But I mean, who knows, because Bitcoin's unpredictable, right? You know, so that's why I wouldn't go in any longs. I wouldn't go in any shorts at the moment. The Bitcoin signal is it hitting this line, so it could be going into phase E. Now, this, if we look at also, jump back on the chart and we look at the kind of the MMA ribbon here, you see Bitcoin's bouncing off this right here. Bear with me 1 second, because these colors are not mine, by the way. So the 20-day, so the 20-day moving average is Bitcoin using it as support. Now, I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. For me, I'm not a big fan of the moving average. What what I think is predicting this price is there's no volume, there's no money in the market, no one's buying, there's no smart money coming in that's, you know, giving Bitcoin that euphoria thing. And without people putting money into the market, there's nothing there to buy or sell, right? So this is what's causing the problem. It's not all to do with the TA of the charts. I mean, I'm a big TA fan, and the TA tells you what's happening in the market, but it doesn't move the market. It doesn't predict the market. News moves the market. You know, people looking at this thinking Bitcoin probably bottomed out and it's not going to move no more. So we want to get you've got people called market makers. The market makers want to get things moving because obviously they know people are thinking they've only got 5-6 months of the market left, and they want to see Bitcoin get up to 100k by the end of the year, as we all do. So it's like I said, I'm still bullish on the market, but I just think until Bitcoin breaks above this 200-day moving average, I think we're going to see a bit of a bearish scenario in Bitcoin where it could retest these lower levels and play out a little bit to what we've put here. So it could sort of be a little bit of a fake pump, like we've had a fake pumps here, fake pumps here. We've had this breakout here, which on this breakout didn't last. I thought this was the one that was going to take us above and stay above the 200-day moving average and invalidate this big D cross, but we got rejected kind of here, and we didn't do it. Now, if we have a look at the 1 hour chart, now this is going to be telling, because this is a chart you sometimes, between this and the 15-minute, you trade off. Now, obviously we had this big euphoric pump, and then we went sideways, down, then up again, and then we went sideways, down. So we could, if we're following this trend and we're using this on the 1 hour, if we're using the 200-day as support, we could see a bounce off this. Now let's enlarge in this. So, you know, you've got to look at different timelines, because, you know, some people are looking at different timelines. On the daily, I think that's what you really need to be looking at and taking your information from. The daily is definitely maybe the 4 hour. But if you're looking to trade and you want a bit of volatility in the market, you see you would have had this here and this here. But again, since we had this kind of big pump here and this arch, we just seem to be falling back down. But hopefully we're going to use this 200-day moving average, have a bounce here, and then maybe up. But like I say, until we see the price close above the 200-day, even go further than close above, until we see the price getting into this box in this area here, which is around about between the $44,000 and the $42,000 mark, we're gonna see Bitcoin struggle for a little bit. So this is the crucial signals we're looking for. We're looking for Bitcoin to bounce above the 200-day moving average on the daily and close above there and stay up in that momentum. We're looking for it to not take a kind of dip down and play out the rest of this Wyckoff, which would put us into phase E. And lastly, we're looking for more volume to come into the market, because the volume is this is normal volume, the green, and the blue is at low volume. So you can see the volume is absolutely pants. We're not going to get anywhere great with this kind of volume, with the fear and the greed in the market being at fear. With this indicator, the things are looking a bit boring at the moment and a bit kind of dead. So all I'm saying is, again, you know, this could be a fake recovery. We could see a bounce off. Fingers crossed it's not, you know, but we have to look at the charts. We have to be realistic. I'm sorry that it's not more bullish news, but we don't want to lose money here. And we're not market makers. We're just people that are trading in the market. We're not the ones with the big money in the whales and doing that kind of stuff. So to round it all off, Bitcoin's struggling. We need it to break above the 200-day moving average. We need it to reverse trend and not follow into that Wyckoff phase E. And hopefully, we know how volatile the weekends are. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that the weekend will be a little bit better, and we'll start seeing what happened last Sunday, which is another pump straight up to the upside, and we start breaking out this 40k mark. and start seeing a bit more positive and a bit more enthusiasm from Bitcoin to get this bull market back on the road we need it to. So yeah, that's about all for the Bitcoin price today. Do remember to slap a like, subscribe, you know, just hitting that blue tick does masses for the channel. We do all the technical analysis and the work, so you don't have to. And obviously leave a comment if you agree with what I'm saying or you don't. This is just my opinion. It's not financial advice. It's just my opinion, and I'm open to you know, positive criticism, debates, or whatever, because obviously, like, none of us have got crystal balls. We're not perfect. We do put a lot of hours and work in to make sure we can get it as right as possibly can. The consensus in the market is pretty much the same for the people that I know are trading sort of in the kind of smart money area, and I'm just trying to bring that into kind of the retail world to give everyone in the retail world sort of an insight of what's happening, what I know, and how it's trading. So again, thank you. I'm Christian. This is Crypto Ripto, and as always, trade smart, trade safe, and don't get wrecked.